Hi everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and I've got a one-page wonder for us today. So this one is using a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, and I'm going to show you two prototypes that I made. They're a little different, so you have options, and then we'll make one together. So the first one I did was using some Christmas papers, and I made a couple of mistakes, and that's okay. I'll show you what those are as we go. One is I did not reinforce my little closure here. I usually do multiple layers when I make a faux closure. So like this one's nice and thick and isn't bending up, but it'll be okay. I used a single-sided scrapbook paper, 12 by 12 for this one. This one I used a double side, and I'll kind of show you the differences there as well. So this is Christmas themed, and this one opens this way. We have a nice big pocket here. This just flips up for more interest. You could, add more pockets and tuck spots if you like. And then it opens here. There's a nice pocket. There's a big pass-through kind of pocket down here that will go all the way through, and I'm actually losing some of the little tinier things I put in there. I'm going to put this one here. I may make a big journaling card to go down here. Little tuck pocket here. And so it was single-sided scrapbook paper, so I've got, the layers and everything to decorate, to cover up the white. And then a pocket, and then two journaling spots. So again, you can change configuration of pockets, all those types of things to make this one however you like. So that one's cute. I used some scrapbook paper I got at Hobby Lobby, and then these are from a Pink Monarch print Christmas kit, so I'll link that for you guys in the description. I just had printed it off and had some of the papers. Aren't they pretty? So I used those. Okay, so that's one. And so this is what happens when you go to twirl this. You've got to be really careful. So I won't do that again. I'll do something different to make that better. Okay. And then the next one that I made, I used two-sided cardstock. Isn't that cute, the little dangle? And then I used my new Blooms in Winter paper kit to layer some on here. And for some of the embellishments, this was made with one of the papers. And then I also just used some scraps and pieces that I had laying on my desk. So this one, there's a tuck spot this way. And this, I just did a little bit of a collage. And then this one, this flips down this way, and this flips up this way, so you have lots of journaling space. And then I put this pass-through tuck spot here in the center on this one, and I did a large card, and it can load from either side. For whatever reason, I think because I reinforced this and it's got a nice place to grab it on this side, it's doing better sliding in that way. There we go. And then down here, I did another journaling spot. You can see my distress ink got everywhere. But then it also opens this way. Right? Oh, and this is a tuck spot here, and I didn't put anything in there. Let's find something really quick just to stick in there to show you. Yep, made a little tuck spot there. So, and I did close that with a Velcro dot just to make that a little bit easier. Now, if you don't want to leave this plain white, you could print on both sides. You could have a coffee paper, something like that. But I thought with the cardstock I used, the white looked pretty good. So we have some of the warm tones and then the white as well. Okay, so this was inspired by Millennia Pliant. I never feel like I'm saying Millennia's name right, and I apologize. I will link her channel below. She did this one years ago, and I think she called it a folio. I'm calling mine, and again, it was inspired. Mine's a little different. I'm going to call mine, I think, a Billfold style folio. because it looks like a billfold when it's folded up. I think these would make great last minute Christmas gifts. You could put a gift card just as it is. You could leave it just as it is as a gift because it's really nice and substantial. It could go in a larger journal. It's a little chunky, but I like chunky, so that's fun. All right, and this one I thought just turned out really cute with that dangle there. So there we go. We've got 2 different prototypes. I'm going to show you how to assemble it, and we will do a little bit of decorating, but probably not the whole thing because that takes me so long. Let's see. The other thing is I'm going to use up Christmas scraps that I have laying all over my desk and make this one with Christmas scraps, but I will link this kit because I was pretty consistent using one kit from Pink Monarch on this one. And I will link my new Blooms in Winter kit for you guys as well, just to make them easy to find. This one, we're going to just use my big pile of scraps. If you see something you like, you can, if it's a digital, you can probably find it listed under Pam's favorites. And I always link that for you guys, so you can go take a look. Okay. Let's set these aside, and I'm going to show you how I cut my paper. And again, you're going to have a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and you want to cut off so that this is going to be the base of the billfold, and this is a single side. So it'll require some more layering, a 5-inch section. So I actually cut this one at 7 inches, which left me a 5 by 12 piece. I will put all the measurements and scoring in the description for you guys. So you've got a 5 by 12 piece, which left you with a 7 by 12. The 7 by 12, you want to lay it in on that 12-inch side. So if you turn this whole thing, put on your trimmer, and you need 2 pieces that are 3 7/8. So guys, 3 7/8 is that one little line before 4 inches, okay? So just a little bit less than 4. So 3 7/8, 3 7/8, they're each by 7. So set those aside. And then with the piece that is left, you need to cut out a rectangle that is 3 3/4 this way by 4 3/4. And this is what it looks like when you cut it. So you would cut it first to be the 4 3/4 and then cut off this little strip to make it 3 3/4. And then save these because you may use them. In Melania's video, she showed you this extra kind of flippy thing using some of the leftovers. And I just did mine a little different. So that's up to you. Okay. What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to score these 3 pieces. So the large piece that is 12 by 5, we're going to do, and with a lot of one-page wonders that are built from 12-inch by 12-inch papers, you hear some of the same scoring, and this one is very easy. It's at 4 inches and at 8 inches, so that we get 3 4-inch sections, just like that. And this is what is going to fold up. Be very careful when you're folding it to be the base of your billfold. Okay, we are going to trim this off in a minute, and I'll show you the measurement for that. All right, the 2 pieces that are 3 7/8 by 7, score each of those at 2.5. 2.5 inches. All right, that is the end of our scoring. So pretty simple. I'm going to set these aside for a second. So this one, you want to make sure everything is folding up nice and straight, and you also want to make sure that the billfold itself is going to fold neatly. So I very carefully make sure I have it turned the way I want it, and that the top of this flap is not in any way crossing over this crease line. So if you have to kind of just, hold it a little bit as you crease it, to make sure it folds nice and neat for you. If it is a little bit off, you're going to have buckling when you try to fold it. All right, so I want my pattern so that you see the Christmas trees in the correct direction. And then when you flip it over, they're upside down. Nothing I can do about that. You could layer something on the back if that bothers you. So this section, because my paper has a direction to it, if your paper doesn't have a direction, it's not as critical. We are going to cut 1 inch off. So I'm going to use my little trimmer, and I'm going to actually slide the paper in this way and go to 1 inch. Now, the reason I believe, you know, we wait and do this is it just makes our scoring so much easier instead of starting with a 5 by 11 piece and then scoring it. We just take that 1 inch off later. Now that I'm thinking about it, we could have made this one of those 2-page projects using 8.5 by 11 paper, because this piece now being 11 inches by 5 would lend itself to that. So if you don't have 12 by 12 paper, check out my measurements, you know, and you should be able to make it with smaller paper if you want to. It'll just take more than one piece. Okay, now this is the main part of our folio, and I'm going to grab my corner rounder, and you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I am going to round the flap here. And I don't think I rounded this one on the other ones, but let's do it. Why not? We'll see how it turns out. I'm going to do both of those. Okay, now we're going to set that aside because we don't need that just yet. Now you're going to take the 2 pieces that are 3 7/8 by 7. We scored at 2.5, and fold those. And I'm going to realized with the directional paper I should have done this differently, because one's going to be upside down, because we have to take this 2.5 inch section and we're going to put them together like this. And if I had, when I laid it in the scoreboard and I scored it 2.5, if I just turned this one upside down and scored at 2.5, then I'd be able to flip it around and they would be all the same direction. I hope that makes sense. Again, if your paper doesn't have any direction to it, it doesn't matter. So do I want to, I think I'm going to do that, and we'll just have this extra crease here and I'll reinforce it with something. So I'm going to turn this one upside down and score it at 2.5. Okay. And fold it. See, we all learn something new and figure stuff out as we go. Now, the other thing I have to figure out is, do I want to lay this in here? This is going to eventually go in here, and then if I glue it down this way, my flaps will be like this, and it'll be the white paper, which is fine, on top, because I will layer them and you won't see it. Or do I want to lay it this way, right? And then when these come over this way, we see those Christmas trees, and I think I want it like this. I really like these Christmas trees flipping to the front of the folio. So the way we make this happen is I'm going to use a piece of washi tape. You're not going to see this. You could use masking tape, Scotch tape, whatever. I guess you could even use some 2-sided tape like this to hold it down, because then we're going to add glue and stick it to the folder. And if you did that, then you could just pull the strip off right before you stick it down. So use whatever you have. I'm going to use this just to hold it together, because then these are going to go like this, and I'm going to add glue to this entire section, and then put it, don't want to do upside down, put it right here. Nope, I said I was going to do it this way. Ha, you guys. I'm going to do it this way. And add the glue here. So it would have made sense to put the washi tape on this side that's getting glued down, but I'm going to cover this as well. Let's just, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. It's going to be okay. I have a lot on my mind. I have a whole bunch to do to still get ready for Christmas. And got family and kids and all kinds of stuff going on. Good stuff. I mean, it's all good stuff. But obviously my crafting sometimes I misspeak and I make mistakes just like everybody. So there you go. Okay, to keep things exciting, I decided to get out my vintage photo distress oxide distress ink and use that instead of my favorite, which I use all the time, walnut stain. We're going with vintage photo today. Got it out earlier when I was doing my fun crafting, and I thought, we'll use this today in the tutorial. Okay, but see, this is for some reason shedding and then getting ink all over my pages, but it's all right. I'm going to go ahead and add distress ink all the way around, just in case as I layer we see some of that. I would like to have a little bit of ink. I am not distress inking that extra fold line I have there. It'll just be there. Okay. Oh, aren't they pretty? I love the trees. All right, this one too, really quick before we start layering. And you don't have to distress yours with ink if you don't want to. And depending on what papers you choose, like if you're using a really pretty, bright, cheery Christmas kind of paper, you know, a lot of times with those that I've been doing a lot of my one sheet wonders for this holiday season with, I don't ink. Sometimes I do, but a lot of times I don't, depending on the paper and the style of the project. Okay, but these trees and this paper does seem kind of Christmas vintagey to me, so I like the distressed look. All right, I'll add more later if I want to. Fun. Okay, so now just make sure you have yours turned the correct way, and we are going to add glue. And I sure could have done a better job. Let's see, is this one? Here's a full one. I need to refill that bottle, but here's one that is nice and full that we can use. So just glue all the way. So this is where I was saying if you decided to hold yours together with two-sided tape, it would just help hold this down. Whoa. And then you do want to, it centers really well, if you hold your paper right in this section. Right there. And everything still folds neatly because I did not cross over either of those score lines. All right, so it's already looking cute. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do, and again, I showed you multiple with the two prototypes that I did. One had those journaling flaps, the other had more pockets. It's really a personal preference. Just to be able to show you how I did some of those pieces, we're going to do a variety on this one. So before we do anything else, let's do this part. So this is the piece on one of the prototypes I put here, and we had the little notched pass through. And on the other one, I put it down here. You decide. I'm going to, on this one, put it down on this section. So I am going to go ahead and round the corners so that it will layer nicely. I'm going to go ahead. Well, I could have waited to ink because we're going to do a notch and I'm going to have to ink some more, but add some ink. Now you can do a hard crease, and I think Melanie on hers made 2 little pockets. She glued it and made 2. I made mine a pass through. So I'm going to make mine a pass through, but I'll show you in a second. You can do a hard fold here. It won't hurt anything, but I'm just doing where I've got it folded, but just enough so that I can put a notch and just make sure everything is lined up. And this way you end up with your notches matching. There we go. They're at the same place. And again, you could have done a hard crease there. It wouldn't have it wouldn't have hurt anything. So what Melania did with hers is she did a hard crease so she knew exactly where the center was, and she put, I think she used tape or glue or something, but glue right here and then at the top and the bottom. And then instead of one big pocket, she had 2 little pockets. I'm going to go for the big pocket. So I'm only going to add my glue carefully to the top and to the bottom. Just a thin bead of glue. And then just layer it right in here. And then you can decorate the front of the pocket however you like. You can add another pocket if you want to on there. All the pockets, right? All kinds of beautiful things. All right, before we do any of our other pieces, I want to think about my closure and if I want to add anything here. So I mentioned we're going to use my scraps, and I have a bunch, and some are large pieces I haven't even cut yet. Some are just little sections. I think this is from Joey's Christmas folk paper, and that green is really pretty with this. So that's there. And I had also, this is a tab, I think from that Christmas folk kit too. And I was thinking this one would be cute, and we could do another dangle or some kind of cluster if I want to do something similar. This is just a whale punch, and then this is one of the tabs from the kit, cut out the way it was designed. So many scraps, and I don't want to spend too much time because I really just kind of want to show you the options, and I love to decorate, so you guys know sometimes this is where I spend a lot of my time. La-di-da, but it's fun and it's relaxing for me, and sometimes you just have to have fun, right? All right, I was thinking, I don't know, I'm really liking this tree, but I want a fun closure too. All right, I'm feeling the need for a strip, a decorative strip. So I am going to ink this, and I'm sort of recognizing the scraps as we go. This one is one of the ones by Cherith Arts on Etsy, one of her background papers. And like I said, if you want to check out some of the kits I've been using, of course, you'll see some of the videos, you know, my past videos, but you can go to my favorites on Etsy and just kind of have a look around. Okay. And I will try to link the ones that I've mentioned that I've done a lot with directly for you guys. All right, I'm going to just glue that down. All I did was hold it there to see how long I needed it instead of measuring. I mean, I know this is 5 inches long, but it was just easier than laying it on the trimmer. So there you have it. All right, I'm going to save that and use it somewhere else in our folio. Ooh, look at these. I don't even know what this is from, but maybe we can use this. Would the pine cone be cute? I'm still using this. awful 1-inch punch. So let me find a scrap to put underneath it. It does better if we're punching thicker items. Okay, let's see. I can get this to reach over there the way I want it to. I'm just thinking for the closure, won't this be cute? Ha! It worked. Okay, I'm happy. Now, I know I need, let me show you guys if it's going to see. It's not sticking too bad, but it's not punching as easily. And everybody, see that? Everyone has told me, oh, punch through pie plates, which I've done. Punch through tinfoil, which I've done. And it helps a tiny bit, but yeah, I think this is just lived its lifespan, and I'm gonna have to let it go. I'm just looking for some scraps because I just need some circles to reinforce our decorative circle. And all of my scraps are not cardstock weight, so I am going to just find where I had just some extra. I probably will not use all of this piece, so it's going to be okay. All right, I'm just going to cut us, I don't know, maybe 4. Whoa, they're flying everywhere. All right, this is what we're doing. Get this out of our way. We're going to glue, and it doesn't matter if it's the plain white, if it's this funky pattern I'm using, it just really doesn't matter. But what we want is to get, like I said, all right, that's 3. Let's put the pine cone on top. I think this came from some scrapbook paper, the pine cone. All right, it's a different thickness. I can feel it than my paper that I print. It's actually a little bit thinner, believe it or not. Okay, so now I'm going to ink this. This is going to become our closure. On one of the ones I did, I used a brad. You could do an eyelet. You can do whatever. The other one, I didn't do anything. It just decorated it. And so the next thing we're going to do is punch a few circles. This is the 5/8 size circle. And glue these together underneath, and I've shown you guys these before. It just lifts it up a little bit so that we can get the baker's twine underneath. Okay, so again, I think I'm going to do 3, or maybe I'll do 4, because the last 2 I used baker's twine that's a little bit thicker. I want it to be able to fit under there. And it just lifts it up. And you don't see these. They just go right there like that. You guys see that? So I'm going to glue them down like this. Oh. Now, if you're using an eyelet, a brad, and it's going to poke all the way through, part of the reason I started working on this early is I'm thinking, if I was going to poke an eyelet all the way through, I'd want to do that. And then when I cover this panel, it would cover up the other side of the brad. That's what I did on this one. And you don't see it. So, kind of think through what you're doing, and that'll help you decide. Oh, I just noticed I want to round these corners. Whoa, that went in funny. And I want to round this one. So I like how that looks. Goodness, Pam, I'm struggling with my corner rounder. I'm letting that dry a little bit. Our little closure. Okay, so We did the pass through, working on the closure. Let's go ahead and glue it down, and then it'll have plenty of time to dry on the front before we start putting any twine around it. Normally, I bring my closures down to this portion of, you know, the flap. But because I decided to decorate and put that strip, I'm wondering how it will work bringing it up. Let's put it there in the middle and see what happens. If I don't like it later, I'll tell you, you know, don't do yours yet. If you're thinking about putting it in the middle, let's see how it works. Let mine be the guinea pig. Okay. Now, I definitely want to put something here. And this is where you can do some fun flips. You can use, you know, other papers. You could just do a side load pocket, you know, for a tag. So many options. So I am going to look at my scraps. I think this will look cute together. So again, this is 5 inches wide. There's my ruler in my mess. And this section is 3 inches now tall. That's the one we cut the 1 inch off. So I want to cut a piece that's going to be, I'm going to go a little more than 2 3/4. And same thing, I'm going to just trim this down so there's a little bit of the white all the way around. So that's a little more than 4 3/4, just a smidge. All right, we're gonna round here, and I am going, what is going on, Pam? I guess I'm just not sticking it all the way in when it does that funky cut. Okay, I am going to make this into a, I think I am, a side tuck. You know what though? I want to put one of those dangles. I guess I could have it load from this side. Let's do that. Okay. So again, you got to kind of think about your design, because I want to put a tab dangle on this side. So I don't want to interfere with something loading into the folio or the billfold, whatever. So I'm going to hold it by this side, leave this side open. We're going to add glue to these 3 sides, and then a long, skinny tag or card will hopefully go in here nicely. All right, we'll let that dry. I didn't notch it because I didn't want to see the extra white. We'll see. We'll see if we can make something tall and skinny go in there. Thinking maybe one of these. And when I said we were using scraps, everything, it's going to be very eclectic today. Very eclectic. So let me cut him out. This little reindeer guy. I'm going to cut it off with some of this trim on here to make it a little bit taller. Yeah, he's going to slide in there nicely. And we may back it, put a ribbon, something like that on him. But for now, we'll just stick him in there, just to remind me to do something with that later. And it's okay if this one hangs out some, if it's decorated, because, you know, if you see just a smidge or you see a little ribbon coming out the side, it's okay. It's not going to interfere where anything needs to fold. Okay, fun. Could put a fun word or a sentiment there. All right, I think on this one, what I'm going to do is we are going to layer and put a large pocket here. Then I'll show you how to do a flip. And then it's really just going to be you guys deciding how you want to design yours. So again, this section is 5 by 4. And it's not quite wide enough, but I'm going to make it work, and I'll show you how. We're going to go a little smidge under 4. Did I go a smidge enough? I'm going to trim just another little tiny section off. I don't want to cause this knot to fold up nicely. Okay, and then we'll put a strip of something right along there like that, but that's not it. That's not the strip I'm going to use. Maybe we'll bring in some more of these fun colors. I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna trim this off of the top. I want that whole flower. I think this is like a poinsettia, or supposed to be a poinsettia. And then I'm gonna trim it off here to get it the same height. We'll add a little ink. And because I'm gonna put a pocket, some of this will get covered, but that's okay. And again, if you want yours to have a super cohesive look, I'm using scraps, you know, pick a paper kit, a scrapbook paper kit, or a digital paper kit that you want to work with, and then you can, I'm just going to glue this whole section down. You know, you can make it probably look a little more cohesive. I do not, I'm going to put the strip to this side. You know, I like eclectic. I want to use up my scraps, so I'm okay with it. And I do a lot of projects where I use, you know, 1 or 2 paper kits that coordinate well together. So, but I end up with a lot of extras. Cuteness, isn't that cute? Love that. All right. I think I'm going to stick this lovely owl in one of my pockets here in a minute. So I'm going to set it aside. Okay, let me show you how to do some fun flips. And again, you just have to find paper that you want to work with. And as I dig through my pile of scraps, you know, some of them coordinate really well, some of them not so much. Here's a neutral. Let's see. We kind of have a neutral here that we could write on. This is not cardstock weight. I don't want to use that for a flip. I printed that one. Here's one that I printed on cardstock. That was just copy paper, which is fine. Oh, here's some fun words. Let's use this one. All right. These sections are 4.5. Not quite 4.5. 4.5. They're 4.5. And they are that 3 7/8 inch tall. So I am going to use my ruler and eyeball this and hope I get it nice and straight enough. We're just going to tear because I am in that kind of mood. There's something very, oh, guys, I'm not making just panels to layer. I'm making flippies. All right, this will be the flippy right here. So you want it to be the correct width. And then what I did, and I'll give you the measurement here in a second, is I decided where I was going to fold it by doing this. And then I just folded it. And I'll tell you how big it is. And I'm going to trim this section off. And I could use the trimmer for this, but trim it off. So now, whichever way I decide, you know, I'll probably do something like this. And then it'll flip, and this is a little more neutral, and we could write on there. So it ended up being 7 1/8. 7 1/8. But you honestly, you really don't have to measure if you don't want to. I'm going to use this one. It's the one I've been using. I am rounding these two because this one's I'm going to have flip down this way. So it matched these two corners. So on one of my samples, I did the flip on both sides, one up, one down. And so you just reverse it on the other side. Not hard. Okay. And I didn't even attach it with a Velcro dot or anything, but you certainly can. I'm going to glue this whole section down. And then, of course, you can decorate as much or as little as you want. Boy, I got some colors going on here. Yay. All right. This one, I accidentally tore, but it's the right size now. I don't know how well this is going to work because these are torn edges. It doesn't like to get up in there. Okay. We're going to put this one down, and again, it's just to show you, instead, if you used a double-sided scrapbook paper, you may not even need to layer here, but you can layer and then just add a pocket if you'd like to do that. Instead, you can do the side load, the little tuck kind of pocket. You can do the, a full-blown pocket that's a top load, whatever your heart desires. And I'm probably going to decide based on what I do here. And I'm thinking here, I may even, because I don't want to cover up all of these lovely trees. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a section. I'm just eyeballing it. I know this is too tall. There. I'm going to, where you almost don't see it, right? Because it's the same paper. Layer a triangular pocket, again showing you, change up your pocket styles as much as you want to make your project yours. I'm just adding glue to these two sides just to make it nice and easy to stick things in. You still can't go over this score line or you'll have a problem. And then I'm going to use, I may use this to decorate this pocket. I said I want to use that. Whoa, and it's got more Christmas trees. I think instead of turning this into another little pocket, I am just going to put it here and do like a little mini collage. I do wish I had remembered to add ink on those little thumb notches, but I didn't. Now, this pass-through would lend itself to something like this. It's too long, but that's almost the same length, simply so that you get to see some fun color in between. So I'm just going to take a sliver off. This obviously isn't finished, but so that we get the idea, there we go, of something in there. We have this one. This pocket, because I did a triangle and this is a flip down, I'm thinking we may just do a little top load pocket. I haven't done anything here yet, and you have the opportunity. Again, you can collage, add more pockets, I mean, whatever you want, but I'm going to pick Cherish These Moments. Not sure which Pink Monarch kit these came from, but it is a Pink Monarch print. They have lots of digitals that have words and sentiments and things that we can use for our projects. Okay, it was a little longer than I thought. Here, maybe we'll pick, let's just, since we're using Christmas papers, let's pick 25, and it says December 25th, Christmas Day. And these are a freebie from Rach and Bella Crafts. If you go to their website, just Google it. I don't want to have too many things linked. I have them linked in some of my other videos and stuff, but it's one of her freebies from the Christmas collaboration this year that we did to get the numbers. And they're available on her Ko-fi page, and you can get to that through her website, or I guess you could probably search for her on Ko-fi. There we go. So again, keep decorating, make it look pretty. What do we want to put right here? I said I was going to do a top load pocket, but let's see if we can turn this little journaling card, because it'll bring kind of this idea pattern into a really deep pocket. Let's see. And I think I need to use this one around these corners. Okay. Yeah. We're going to install this as a pocket. It's just going to be a deep pocket, and I think it's going to look cute, be a little different. And I think this is kind of a surprise when you open this one up because of all the funky papers I chose. It's probably not what people were thinking they were going to see when they get to the front, or when they look at the front. Okay, what do I want? I want to put something there, even though I said I wasn't going to worry about decorating every little bit, but I definitely want something there. Look at these. Aren't they cute? More Christmas trees. Guys, I adore the Christmas sets Joey Carter Maker put out this year. Like I said, I did my big Advent journal series, and I hope you guys made yours and are enjoying it. This December, using his, I think it was Yuletide Cheer. That was the name of it. And then I made multiple projects as well using this Christmas folk paper. I mean, how beautiful is that? So we'll put this little banner. I was thinking about putting it to the left or the right, but I think I'm going to just put it right smack in the center so that I don't cover up more of the candles. Very sweet. Obviously that needs something, but I'm not going to do it right at the moment. Where did I put that owl? So I'm going to put the owl in. Is the owl too tall? I'm going to put the owl in just like that. Very sweet. I'd like something there too, probably. These are going to be too tall because you can't have anything too tall coming out of this pocket because it's going to fold over, and this has got to be able to fold down. So I'm not going to worry about putting anything in that pocket just yet. These, I normally would put a pocket or a little tuck spot. That's what I did on some parts. I'm going to leave them right now. I like those trees. You guys know how to make pockets, so if you want to add pockets to yours. And then, again, we could, it gets a little chunky, y'all, so you do have to be careful folding it up. We could decorate this panel, add a pocket, something. You could put something on the back or cover up the upside down trees if you want to. I'm not going to worry about mine right now, but let's pick some, let's make the little dangle really quick. Now, I did this one as a cluster, so let's just do that. I don't want to lose this. My dogs are going berserko. Probably a little bit of a delivery is arriving, maybe. All right. This is just a piece of craft cardstock to be the base of my little cluster that I'm gonna make. And I've done videos and series like scrapbook busters, making these little types of clusters and decorating them in different ways. So if that's of interest to you, you know, go check that out a little, because you may see something that you can use whatever papers you have. Again, it doesn't have to be the papers I use. And when I'm doing a scrap buster, I do what I'm doing now, and I just grab all of the papers that I've been working with in recent days and start tearing and finding something. So this one I layered with some of the fun dictionary paper that's in that new Blooms in Winter kit. But you can just use pattern paper. You can use some book page, whatever kind of works for you. And I said that, and I don't know if I have any sitting here on my desk. This is some book page that doesn't have any text on it, but I'm thinking I might like a little bit of a, open this back up, of a neutral layered on here. This has such a pretty pattern to it. I don't think we need too much else. I'm going to trim it off a touch. Okay, cluster is coming together. The colors are a little weird because I went with these brighter greens and this is so muted. I'm going to do it anyway, just to show you guys. But I sort of looked at it to see, did I like how it was looking? And I'm going to use glue to hold this one together. Sometimes I'll staple them, do all kinds of stuff. But since I know what I'm using this one for, and I don't want to add even more bulk with the staple, I'm just going to use glue. All right, so I'm gluing all of this together like this. So cute. And it's going to end up going on here. Oh, I wish I had left the torn edge and had this butting this way. Oh, well, I kind of wanted the torn edge, but that's okay. The torn edge ended up underneath the tab. It's all right. Okay, before I do that, now if you want to, you could set an eyelet in here. I just punched a hole on mine, and I'm going to punch the hole up. I did not want to go through that pretty flower, so I went through one of these just because. The other one I did right in the center, and you decide. Okay, so let's pick out a little brass key, a little one. And we'll do a long dangle since I went towards the top. And then I'm going to use a bulb pen. I don't really have a bulb pen that is the color of these, but I think that one is close enough. I think it's close enough. All right, let's make sure we like how this looks before we glue anything down. All right, I've hooked that on. Put this right here. Yeah, that's cute. Even though the colors are a little bit wonky, we're just gonna glue, put it on. How cute is that? All right, and then let's add some baker's twine, any kind of string or twine you want to use. I have, these are, again, from Pink Monarch's physical line. They are going to start, I think, doing a drop. They said every quarter. So this is the one from this last fall Christmas season, these different colors. And there were other items in there. This cute little binder clip was one of the things. Let's see. I'm kind of leaning towards this one, which is the same one I used here, just because it brings that paper in. Or I could go neutral, but let's do this one. So we're gonna just slide it up under here. You've probably seen me do this and other creators do this bunches of times. Normally I would knot this again. I'm not going to. I'm just gonna kind of be careful with it, simply because this is thick. If I was using my thinner string or thread, then I would, but it takes up too much space in there. All right, I'm gonna wrap it once, twice, oh, and then we'll come around this way. And I like to put a knot here. Whoa. Just so it doesn't, you know, do a lot of extra fraying. And the other thing is, if I left that other string a little longer, which I could have, the knot helps me know which one to grab. All right, here we go. I got a lot going on my desk. Whoa. And I don't know if you guys ever noticed this. When I store these, this is just a little hint. I store them like this upside down. And if you have multiples, they do stack. You know, they stack this way, like this. But they'll also, you know, they wobble a little bit. But if you keep them upside down, it keeps the ink to the top of the pad. And that's a trick from when I used to do a lot of Stampin' Up. Their ink pads actually flip when you open and close them. So you don't have to sit them upside down, but they're flipped. Anyway, I digress. Look at what we made. Guys, I'm so excited. I love these. I think these are going to make some really cute gifts. Make sure you don't put a single circle down for your closure. Make them nice and thick. Putting it sort of here in the middle did work. I realize this looks a little crooked. It's all right. All right, let's open it up really quick and look one more time at what we made. So it opens this way. We have a pretty decoration. I haven't put anything on these panels yet. This one opens. We have a journaling spot. We have a pocket. We have a side load pocket here. And I'm going to definitely do something a little different and probably put a ribbon on him. We have a pocket here. And then we also have this pass-through pocket down at the bottom that a large like journaling card or tag or something could fit in. You could put a photo, anything you want in there. Okay, I hope you guys like it. I just noticed I'm going to put, I think, this cute little tag right there to decorate that. All right, I hope you guys like it. I hope you'll make one. I hope you're still enjoying. We're in the last days here before Christmas, making some Christmas crafts. But if you've moved on, remember, you can make these with any papers, and they are wonderful, wonderful little projects. All right, give me a thumbs up. Please leave me a comment if you haven't subscribed to my channel. I hope you'll consider doing so. It really helps us creators when we have people that subscribe, like, and comment our videos. All right, thanks everybody. Until next time, have a great day.